Good morning. I hope this finds you well. I hope you are being safe. I hope your families are okay. And just wanted to reach out, and I miss our Wednesday morning prayer meetings at 6 a.m. And so this is in some ways an attempt at recapturing some of that time. And I want to encourage you to pray when you sign off from this, and pray every day. And I'm going to be doing the same. I'm going to be praying for you. But also wanted to I want our church to be saturated in as much of the Word and as much good thinking and asking good questions of ourselves and what God is up to in our lives during this time. And so I kind of wanted to periodically send out a word of encouragement, a word from the Word. And so that's what this is. And so this morning I've been reading in Obadiah, which is just one chapter, and Obadiah 1, 2 through 4. The prophet Obadiah is speaking to a people from Edom. And the Edomites had this history of not looking out for their neighbor, not looking out, in this case, for Israel, God's people. And they had an arrogance about them. They had a history of kind of taking advantage of Israel, particularly when Israel faced hardship and misfortune. And the thing about these Edomites is they lived in a mountainous region in lofty places, and because of that, they thought that they were invincible. They thought they couldn't be brought low, so to speak. And this is what the prophet says to them from God. He says, "Behold, I will make you small among the nations. You shall be utterly despised. The pride of your heart has deceived you. You who live in the clefts of the rock, in your lofty dwelling, who say in your heart, quote, who will bring me down to the ground? Though you soar aloft like the eagle, though your nest is set among the stars, from there I will bring you down, declares the Lord." And I couldn't help, as I read this, something I've been feeling, some connection I've been having in my heart with who we are as Americans and who I am, honestly, as a person, and the way I insulate myself in a certain class of society. I think I was at the grocery store, and as many of us have been, and it's been a strange feeling, as I'm sure you've experienced, walking around seeing empty shelves, whether that be toilet paper or meat or whatever. And I was struck by this feeling of maybe a little panicky, a little like this is strange. I don't know what this is. This feeling of, will I get what I feel like I need? There was a connection to feeling vulnerable, I guess, is the thing. Feeling a little, just in touch with my humanity, I suppose. And in that, I think over the last 48 hours, I've been wondering how many people are living that way every day because of economic reasons or physical health reasons. And I thought, wow, this thing for us, for middle class, upper middle class, whatever it is, for people that, many of us that really aren't worried about eating, worried about getting by, for those of us in that position, in that station in life, I thought, wow, how much this whole coronavirus is leveling the playing field in some ways. Now, don't get me wrong, I know that there's still There are going to be people that range on the spectrum in terms of who suffers the most from this thing. But at the same time, at least internally and emotionally, I think that this thing really is a humbling experience for people. And I think that the more I think about that, I think of how valuable that is for at least my heart, and how often we don't necessarily connect or feel a shared humanity with people that are very different than us. And how good it is for me to think about the people that worry about getting by every week, and how it rarely, maybe doesn't ever enter into my brain. And so, the arrogance of so many of us thinking that because of affluence, because of prosperity, because of ease, because of convenience that we have, there is this creeping sense over time of invincibility. And then something like this comes along and everybody's feels a little vulnerable. And so the question, I think, for me is that I would pose to you, that I would encourage you to think through, is in what ways is this humbling you? In what ways do you sense God through this particular situation bringing about a humility in you, bringing about a shared humanity for you, like an awareness to that? And I don't really mean that rhetorically. I mean that I would love to hear, and I would love to connect with you. I miss many of the conversations that I get to have with the family at the church. And so please email me, connect with me. My email is just msalyer, SALYER, at theoakscommunitychurch.org. I'll get with you as soon as I can. I would just love to have conversation about how we are being humbled as a people, emotionally, economically, relationally, spiritually. Like, what is God doing in you, bringing you lower, bringing you connect in a deeper connection to people so unlike you, and how we live our lives with such a pride. And I wonder about the situation and how it might be doing a work on us that is necessary and good for our souls. And so I'm praying for you. I'm going to sign off here and pray. I hope and encourage you that you will spend time today in prayer, praying for your heart, the family of the churches in the surrounding area, the vulnerable and the weak. Pray for healing. Pray for spiritual awakening in our world, that people turn to God in this, that I hope that there would be an anxious listening for the Spirit and for the gospel at this time. And we as the church have such an opportunity to connect with people and to talk about what we're learning and what we feel like God is showing us. And so I encourage you to pray. And I encourage you to connect with us. And please reach out if you need anything. Please don't hesitate. If you are in a position of loneliness, or if you're in a position where you're really struggling to get by, please do not hesitate and reach out and let us do everything we can to help you. Love you. May God be with you. In peace. Go in peace.